All right, so objective, write the equation of a line using a point and a slope. So yesterday we reviewed slope, right? And we reviewed what makes two lines parallel and what makes two lines perpendicular. Who remembers what makes two lines parallel? They have the same what? Same slope. What about perpendicular? What kind of slopes do they have? Yes. What slopes do they have? Opposite. Begins with an R. You don't remember? Opposite reciprocal slopes. So you got to flip that fraction, okay? So keep that in mind because we're going to be applying that again today. And it's on your test on Friday. So this says, recall the slope-intercept form of a line. Remember that goes y equals mx plus b. Okay, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. Okay, so what we're going to do here for example 1 is it says, what is the equation of a line that passes through the point -3, 3, and has a slope of -2/3? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the slope-intercept form. And we're going to take, now we're saying line that passes, what is the equation of a line that passes through this point and has a slope? So we're going to use this information. All right, this will be our x value, this will be our y value, and this will be our m. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute that into here. So I'm going to have 3 equals -2/3 times a -3 plus b. So they're giving us a lot of information. They're giving us the point that is on this line, and they're giving us the slope. We need to find that y-intercept. So from here, I'm going to multiply 2/3 or -2/3 with a -3. That's going to leave me with a +2. And then I'll subtract the 2 from each side. So in this case, I get b is equal to 1. So my actual equation for this is y equals -2/3 x plus 1. Are there any questions on what I did there in order to get that? Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to graph this. So here's the equation. Now we're going to graph it. I'm going to start at the y-intercept, and I'm going to go down 2 over 1, 2, 3 each time. And then I can also flip-flop this process because it would still be negative. I can go up 2 and then to the -3 spots. So that this way I get a very nice line. Any questions on what I did there? Going once? Anything? Yeah.
I didn't get the recall. Is the recall still up there in the red?
Yeah, if you look, it's like right here.
Yeah.
That's like the first part, then it's
write it down.
Yeah. Okay. I can bring it back up in just a minute too. So anybody still writing this down? Here you go. Does that help?
Yeah, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so at the bottom it says graph a line that is parallel to this line. All right, so I'm just going to take a different color, and I'm just picking a random number. I'm just going to go 3 spaces down from every point. So if I start here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then up here, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So here, whoa. It's actually, did I make a mistake? Did I do 2? Let's see, 1. Oh, I went 4 for this one. That's my issue. There we go. That's better. And I'm just going to draw this line. Okay. So now it's saying, what do you notice about the equation of this line? So if we look, this would be the exact same slope, but with a different y-intercept at 2. So I would just state that this is y equals negative 2/3 x minus 2. So what is the same and what is different with these two lines? Let's start with what's the same. There's nothing the same. They're definitely parallel because they have the same what? You get to the S, you ski down it. Same slope. They have the same slope, but different what? Y-intercepts, yeah. So that's what you're going to write down. So what do you notice? The lines have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. Questions on that? Okay, so it says write the equation of a line through the point 2, 0 that is parallel to the line with the equation y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. All right, so if we take a look at this, we are still doing the same thing we just did in example 1. But in this case, they're giving us the whole equation, not just a slope. Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. So we need to use the same slope that's given to us here. So when I put that into y equals mx plus b, my slope-intercept form, this is my x, this is my y, this is my m. So this is going to be 0 equals negative 1/2 times 2 plus b. So this will be 0 equals negative 1 plus b. Then I add 1 to each side. So I get b is equal to a positive 1. So I'm going to have here y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. Now they want me to graph these. So I'm just going to use 2 colors. You don't have to, but I like doing that. I'm going to graph this one first. So I'm going to start at 1, and then I'm going down 1 over 2 each time. Down 1 over 2. So there's my first line. If you're not using different colors, I would just label this y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1. And then in blue, I'm going to graph this guy. I'm starting at 3, and then I'm going down 1 over 2 each time. And then this one, I'm going to label y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. What questions can I address right now before we move on? We're doing okay? Okay. All right, we're going to move on to example 3. That's on the back. So now we're going to do the same thing, but in this case, we're going to do that. We're going to do a perpendicular slope, which means we need to use the opposite reciprocal. So again, if we look here, here's our x, here's our y that we're going to substitute into y equals mx plus b. However, the m part this time, we're going to just use this, but we have to actually use m is equal to positive, that's the opposite part, and then we have to turn this to a fraction 1 over 2. So this right here is the opposite reciprocal slope. So now I'm going to take these and I'm going to substitute them in. So here I'm going to have negative 1 equals 1/2 times negative 3 plus b. This will leave me with negative 1 equals negative 3 over 2 plus b. Now this is where your calculators are going to help out a lot. So why don't you take those out? And I'm going to show you how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions on here.
What's the calculator app called for this? I-84, right?
Yeah, it's a TI-84 calculator. Now, some of you will have probably the color screen with like the reds, blues, greens, right? And some of you will have a black and white screen. This process works for both, okay? So that's why I usually show it this way, but I know like the ones that have the colored screen has, it has like the fraction with it. Does that make sense? So it's up to you what you want to do here, but here is my recommendation because this never fails, okay? Just gonna make it a little bigger. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is, now the goal is to add the 3/2 to each side. Like that is what we are doing. So I'm taking negative, oh my, it dragged, sorry guys. Sorry about that, it kind of dragged a little bit. I'm taking negative 1/2 and adding I'm taking negative 1 and adding 3/2. So I'm gonna put negative 1 plus parentheses. Make sure your fractions are always in parentheses. 3 over 2. This tells the calculator that, hey, this is a fraction. Don't do anything weird with it, okay? And then you hit enter. Well, I got 0.5. We know that's 1/2 off the top of our head, right? But if we hit math, go to number 1, which is frac, it gives us the fraction form. Okay? You're gonna need the fraction form, whether you like it or not. Okay?
What if you don't use it?
You could lose points on your test, and we don't want that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Rule of thumb, if it starts in decimals, it can end in decimals. If it doesn't, use fractions. Okay? So this is telling me that b is equal to 1/2. So my equation here is going to be y equals 1/2 x plus 1/2. Now, what if I need to graph this? It's kind of weird, right? Starting at 1/2.
Yeah.
It's not too bad though when you think about it. I'm going to start with my y-intercept right here, still at the half. My slope is 1/2. I'm still going to go up 1 whole and then over 2. I'm just at the halfway point between the two now. So up 1, over 2. Up 1, over 2. And then I can just continue the same way. So nothing really changes. It's just you're going to be between the two lines rather than hitting kind of like that T, that perfect T spot, okay? So here's this one. So this is y equals 1/2 x plus 1/2. I'll give you a minute to catch up while you're graphing it. Yes. All right, now I'm going to graph the other one. I'm going to graph that in purple. All right, so you're going to have negative 2x plus 1. So here's 1. And I'm just going down 2 over 1. So that's just pretty standard. So then here is this line. And if you look, do those look pretty perpendicular to each other? What do you guys think? Yeah. They're working out. Try the next two. So you try it. They want to find, the first one is using parallel line. The second one is finding the perpendicular line. Why don't you guys give it a shot? All right, go ahead. Play. All right, so if we take a look, guys, here's the first one. All right, when I work this out, I have y equals x plus 2 or 1x plus 2. Either one works. I graph that one in black, and then in pink, I graph the original equation. Does anybody need to see this one?
No.
No, we're doing okay? All right, here's the second one. All right, so this is requesting that you use a perpendicular line, which means your slope is the opposite reciprocal of this. So it's positive 3, because you're taking that 1/3 and flipping it around. So that leaves me with y equals 3x minus 5. So that's my b value. And then I graph those two, and they do end up being very perpendicular. Does anybody need to see this one? All right, I want you to open up Delta Math real quick. I want to go over with at least one problem with you guys, because sometimes they give it to you in standard form, and I want to just kind of refresh on how to find that slope-intercept form, okay? Oh, did you guys know today is October 34th? I'll edit that. don't know why there's a 3 in there. There we go. Right? All right, let's take a look. I'm going to do one example right here with, again, finding, nope, not that one. New problem. Trying to find, there we go. Here is one. Which equation represents a line which is parallel to 8x plus y equals -3? So our goal here is get y by itself, okay? So if I take this, I'm going to subtract 8x from each side. That'll leave me with y equals -8x minus 3. Now looking at this, which one is going to be parallel to it? Parallel means same slope. Is it going to be this, 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 or this? Which one? What, that? The last one right here? Yeah, that's going to be it. So that's what you need to do if they give you something in standard form. Get the y by itself first, okay? If you get an example of where y has like a number in front of it, you will have to divide that number, okay? There's no getting around that. The other thing I want to bring to your attention is this. These first 3, you're required to do 2, but you can do multiples if you get it wrong. Once you hit these 4, you only get 4 attempts, so be careful. Okay? 4 attempts only. Because those are teacher created, I can't get around that one, okay? Are there any questions I can address before I let you start your homework? What? Yeah. Still better than nothing, right? All right, have at it. I'm going to save this so it's not the 34th of October. You guys, it should update. All right, those of you watching at home, have a great day.